everyone, thanks so much for joining me. In this practice, we're just going to focus on things that we can explore doing while we have a cold. And so I'm experiencing one right now, and I've been in it for about a week and a half. So I'm on hopefully the tail end of it. So this is a time where, we're not quite sure what to do. Okay, so I'm not talking about fever or anything that's really severe. Okay, just your typical, average pain in the butt kind of cold that just feels like it's hindering your life. So a couple of things that you might find helpful. First of all, to have a box of Kleenex handy, because a successful yoga practice should actually clear the sinuses. There's nothing there's no yoga pose that I have ever experienced or know of where it would be acceptable or it's the goal to have everything clog up. So when we go into downward facing dog or we bring the head below the heart, if we're aligned properly, it should feel like everything just opens up. When typically for me, the worst congestion is when I'm laying down in bed. And then I get up and it starts to clear. And when I go in some way, in some sort of inversion, when I'm getting my head down, it clears up. So that hopefully is going to be your experience in the practice. Also, if your throat gets a little dry, have some, I'm pointing what you can't see, a water bottle. The thing is with drinking during your practice, really you just want small sips. You want to just drink enough to soothe this. And, it probably won't be your longest practice. Okay, so we'll go ahead, get started on the mat, and just focus on hopefully clearing things up. Okay, so starting on hands and knees, and just lengthen your spine. And then round. So when we round, okay, what's really key here, at least for me with the sinuses and everything, is that I keep the head of the arm bones grounded in the shoulder joint. So I'm not going to round as much as I might typically when I'm just checking in with the spine. See, I'm just kind of drawing the head of the arm bones into the shoulder joints even as I round. So a couple more. Really important to stay tuned in to your body, your breath, skipping anything that just doesn't feel quite right for you. But right from the get-go here, I can feel the nasal passages clearing, and it's just, oh, it's so nice. Good. Okay, a couple more. And so much of the time, I don't take a standard cat and cow. I roll back and forward over the knees. I kind of check in with the shoulders. The other thing that often happens with colds or any illness is that we get a little stiff, like as though the congestion's not just in our nose, around the throat, but it's like it's everywhere, okay? So let's just test out, okay? First down dog, be kind to yourself, okay? So spreading the fingers, you could always make this more of an extended child's pose, okay? I love down dog, it's my go-to pose for so many things. Okay, so at any time in the practice, any time during the day. So in your down dog, seek length and space. And know that if everything's kind of clogging, okay, in the sinuses around the nose and throat, you need to back up the pose and tweak it before re-entering, because it really should have the opposite effect. So we're picking 2 points within the torso. Crown of the head, tailbone, occipital plate, sacrum, sternum, sacrum, but you're reaching those 2 points away from each other and allowing other parts of the body, okay, all surrounding muscles there, to support the length, to enhance the length. Just another breath here if you're still with me in this. And lower down. Now, okay, you might have to blow your nose. We're going to take the legs out in front. Okay, and just let your knees go side to side. Right? I mean, hopefully you're feeling clearer. Okay, it's the kind of thing that is more difficult to do when you're in a yoga class, to feel comfortable, right? Just clearing out everything, okay? Here in your own private practice, you could totally do it. All right, without any feelings of self-consciousness. So lift the heart. And round, and yet be conservative with the rounding. Just gonna test this, okay? Lifting up, really opening up the chest. And rounding. Good. Inhale, come back up. Take the hands back behind and just let the knees go side to side for a moment. Good. So we're just trying to clear not only the gunk from here, okay, but what feels like gunk, okay, within the body. So just pick a leg, take it forward, okay, take the other leg and circle in the hip. Still trying to sit tall with this. So I really notice that whenever I'm under the weather, I have definitely more stiffness in the joints. I'm going to change direction here than I would typically, okay? So not only is it winter and it's cold and therefore I'm a little stiffer, okay, within the body. And I'm just going to bring the knee in toward the shoulder, but then that congestion, okay, goes through the body. All right, maybe testing this out if it's okay. Okay, bringing your foot up to half lotus. So just little check-ins, just trying to reduce that sense of stiffness in ways that feel okay to your body. Tilt, taking hold here, letting the knee go back and forward. So these are just really typical things. If this is uncomfortable, you can always come down to your forearm, okay? Or again, only taking movements that feel okay to you. Releasing before going into the other leg. So the same leg here, circling that ankle, breathing, okay? Making sure when you're in this position that you're still sitting as tall as you can, okay? Change the direction, breathe. Good, flex and point just that one foot. And then focus just on the toes, scrunch and reach. Now, before we go into the other side, I want you to bend your knees, take the knees side to side, and just observe the difference, okay? And then two halves. And then take both legs out in front, and we'll just come into a forward fold, okay? Again, this may be where you stay. The whole point of this is just to feel the difference in the experience from the leg you've done to the leg that you haven't, okay? And how, hopefully, that has had an impact coming up the body. So just open up the heart. And then to whatever degree feels okay, hinging, okay, maybe with the help of a strap, okay. I am never quite fixed in a pose. I'm changing my mind constantly, adapting to the sensations, the feedback within my body. Still imagining reference, okay, so rooting across the soles of the feet, pulling energy up, opening up the body. I'm looking for that same length, okay, within the torso, and that every breath just feels like it can enhance the length. And definitely feeling different the side that I've opened up a little bit versus the side that I haven't. Just one more breath here. And then inhale to come up. Good. Circling in the hip. So we're hoping that our practice clears us up, gives us more energy than we spend doing it, okay? That we leave this practice feeling taller, more spacious, less clogged, okay? Going both directions here in the hip. And then maybe bringing the foot up toward, again, this is just to, it's like for me gives a sense of relief, okay, in the joints, all positive experience. So don't do anything that feels like it's on the edge of detrimental, okay? Shifting, taking hold, okay? Again, just moving the body with intention, with awareness. Good. Releasing the leg. Okay, again, with that leg, circle in the ankle. Snap a grapple ball. Okay, good. And then change the direction. Are we breathing? Good. Flex and point. And then focus on the toes. Good. And then again, let's take the knees side to side. Okay. So a lot of benefits, you know, just of the movement, right? At times matching movement with breath. Okay. And just hopefully feeling accomplished by the fact that you're doing anything active while you feel under the weather, okay? So opening up the heart, lengthen the spine. Imagine there's something against your feet that you can push into that engages the legs and creates space in the ankles, the knees, the hips, the spine, shoulders and neck. Maybe we're gonna take this into a forward fold. Another thing you can add to this, okay, just depending on how your position is, bring one or both hands behind the head, elbows forward, tuck the chin and pull the base of the skull back. And then draw that occipital plate up away from the tailbone. And then maybe hinge, again, adjusting, okay, so that we just are looking constantly for more and more length, unhindered length for the breath. And at any time, can reach with the strap, or you're connecting hands to legs or feet here. This is where I breathe best on the yoga mat. It's amazing. Can really be just blowing my nose, you know, throughout the day and feeling like it's just frustrating. Okay, and coming, you know, if I can, like, right, have that motivation to get onto the mat, then it's just like I can breathe. It's miraculous. And then returning, okay, up. Now let's come back onto hands and knees, okay, and check in, okay, with how it feels. Hopefully more open, right? Good. Maybe revisiting downward facing dog. So after I set up a position, I am very focused on lengthening the spine and having appropriate effort. Not the kind of effort where you just feel locked and tense, okay? But the kind of effort that just makes you feel empowered and spacious within and free, and that you just get longer and longer and longer. And it may mean knees are bent, okay, or straight. Maybe the heels easily touch the ground, okay, but really the focus is the spine, the organs within the torso. Good. And lower. Coming back, now we're going to come into seated position. So make sure you're in a position, okay, that works for your body to be able to still sit really tall. So I intentionally didn't start with this because it initially, before we do stuff, you know, we're stuffed up. But now I hope that you're not as stuffed up and can enjoy, okay, a little bit more focus on the breath. Okay, so I'm just checking in with the shoulders, okay, both directions, but always ending with opening the heart. And then taking a hand and massaging the palm, okay, and just, right, feeling any tenderness, seeking out the tenderness, and really trying to work it, okay, to unlock that tension and breathe. So you can do this, okay, with your hand elevated or down in your lap, close to your lap, and just breathe and sit tall. You can close down the eyes and just feel and experience and give thanks to all that the hands do for us and how much we take them for granted. Good. So with that same hand, just check in with the wrist. And then massage here along the forearm. So there's a bunch of videos on these techniques, okay, on the wrist and forearm tension. Okay. So, and then the feet and the calves and all kinds of good stuff. But this, really massaging, okay, well, right, is something we can just do all the time here, anytime. Okay, and it will be self-soothing. Good. Now, before we do the other side, reach the arms up and just feel what it is. Okay, how different it is from arm to arm. Keep reaching and breathing and lengthen. Let's go ahead and take this into a side stretch. Doesn't matter which side. Just picking a side here, releasing the shoulders away from the ears, checking in with the neck. Inhale, come up. Exhale, other side. Good, maybe noticing one side is tighter than the other. Okay, so I worked, let's see, reaching up. I massaged this hand, so this side was more open, and as soon as I went to this side, I was like, oh, there we go. Okay, feel free to shake out the legs, swap out which leg is in front. Okay, we're just gonna massage the other. Okay, as well as focus on breath. There are so many different practices that we could have when we're under the weather. What's so important is we really check in. I mean, you truly could go into child's pose, and stay there. Okay, supported fish, stay there, and just surrender to it and feel like you've done something good and positive for yourself, which on its own, I think, is empowering and gives us energy and strength. So we're massaging the palm, okay, and then circling, okay, in the wrist, breathing, okay, and then massaging here. So it's at an angle, okay, getting as deep into the most tender areas that you can and with as much pressure as it feels like you're having an impact without it being ridiculously painful. We're not looking for that at all. We're just looking for reference, okay? And breath. Good. All right. Check in with the shoulders once again. Right? So the goal is here to clear the congestion and throughout the body. And I hope that you're feeling that. You're feeling the clearing. Okay, feeling a little bit more hopeful. Just reaching up. I'm going to side stretch this way again. Just kind of checking in. Good. Coming up. Side stretch the other way. Good. Come up. Taking the hands back behind, just opening the heart. Staying here or hinging forward to whatever degree. Just lengthen the spine. Good. Coming up. So before I focus any more on hips or hamstrings, I want to massage the feet. Okay? So it might not, you take your time. I'm going to do this fairly abbreviated just so it's not too long of a video here. But massaging again, looking for the most tender areas and applying as much pressure as I can withstand. Okay, so really getting into the feet. Okay, getting into along the sides of the calf. Okay, so again, seeking tender. When we have that tenderness, we're holding tension. We didn't know we had. So wherever that may be for you, okay, you can flex or have the foot relax. It just depends what feels most effective. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and go into the other side. Breathe, sit tall. So I'm going to finish with one more time, going into downward facing dog, maybe one time, maybe two. Okay, and choosing the right hip opener, okay, for you. So I love half pigeon, okay, but you could absolutely do a pose, okay, which would be completely comparable, okay, like this. I don't tend to lay on my back too much because I feel congestion return, but you could do this, okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and set up in down dog and enter into half pigeon from there. But I want you, and we can keep each other company here, and you choose your best hip opener, okay, that feels good in your body. Sometimes it's nice, it's just nice to feel like you have some company. Lengthen. Whatever position you're in, we're always seeking lengthen the spine. Okay, so now for half pigeon, I bring the feet a little closer together, reach a leg back, and then mindfully, we're bringing it forward, okay, and making adjustments as much as you can mid-air, okay, and then landing, and then here as I take my back leg back a little bit more, I'm making sure to make my adjustments as the front knee is not on the ground. Good. This usually takes me off the mat. One of these days I'll figure out how to do this just right the first time. Okay, so either way, if you're in a hip opener, one leg is in some sort of external rotation, the other leg is neutral or maybe slightly internally rotated. And what you're really looking for is that at every single joint, okay, that you feel that it has space within it and that it feels supported by the surrounding muscles. Lengthen here. So before I go forward, or at some point in the position, I typically will do this little adjustment thing with my head. So pick one hand or both, okay? And elbows would be forward, head of the arm bones back, tuck the chin, base the skull in line with the spine, and pull, okay, that occipital plate and tailbone, because you're reaching the occipital plate away from the tailbone, and it engages the muscles a little bit more, okay, that surround and support, and then it offers more length. And then at any time, one or both hands can return to the ground. And yet, while I do this, I still imagine that reference. So I only apply as much pressure behind that. It's really just a reminder, okay? And then you can take any variations, again, that feel good, that feel that they enhance your position. We're not going for anything that's driven by what we think we should do or should be able to do. We're seeking what feels comforting, okay, right? Our comfort foods, comfort practice, okay, that make us feel like self-soothing, self-care, because it's what we need. And then carefully, when you're ready, exiting again into your in-between pose or sequence. Many people enjoy, moving through the sun salutation. You absolutely could choose that here. I'm going to just set up for the second side. Okay, reaching, lengthening. See if I can adjust my position so I stay on the mat. Okay. Good. Okay, so again, anytime I'm shifting in the position, I just want to make sure I'm not bearing weight on especially the knee, okay, either knee or hip joint, okay, and still being mindful of the ankle. All right, so lengthen, whether you're more forward or upright, doesn't matter, but really scan your body for space, and then increase the space. If that you feel you benefit from this adjustment, you could, again, one or both hands, okay? The things that are important is that the arm bones are in the shoulder joints, that the back of the head is in line with the spine, so that, right, we're not creating tension, we're releasing tension, okay? And then coming forward, and I pretend that my hand is still there throughout the pose, and I do this in many poses, just internally, without the use of my hand there, but it's just a great reminder. Good. Again, taking any variations that speak to you. So I'm looking for within my body to unlock the stiffness. Trying to not resent, right? Trying to not have it be that big of a deal. The cold weather, the cold virus, whatever, right? Trying to adapt to life with as much grace as possible. And it's a constant practice. Okay? So carefully, as you're ready, okay, exiting into your in-between pose, your check-in. And then releasing. Seated position that works for your body. Final check-in here. Ending with a little twist. Especially if you didn't get any twists, in your hip opener. Spend a few breaths, okay, to each side, just to even out your practice, okay? So I hope that you feel opened up, okay? Less congested, less stiff, right? Any improvement is still improvement. This much improvement, still improvement. So I hope that you feel good, that you feel better really fast, and that I see you again on the mat. Namaste.